All right. We are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 36. And it's another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. We have a very special guest, lots of switch, big studio closings, matchmaking shystiness, and Destiny 2 news to discuss, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who I consider another young phenom in these YouTube streets, and whose content I was first introduced to by my co-host, Lord Addict. This Lord always provides high-quality content that is intelligent and thought-provoking through his opinion pieces, vlogs, Twitch streams, Nimbus on the beats, and is an absolute hilarious follow on anyone's Twitter timeline. Introducing the creator and host of the Press Start podcast, one of the early pioneers of the Switch Gang movement, and the multi-platform Lord who has his finger on the pulse of the gaming community. Live from the 6th, my man, Lord Press Start Kofi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Wow, that was probably like the craziest intro I've ever heard in my life. For me, that's crazy.
My man. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We got to show love. You're a Lord out there. What you see what you're doing. You're a Lord in your realm. So at the round table, we got to show you the proper respect because you're a Lord in here too. So big fan of your work and glad to have you, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Guys, I don't know, that intro said it all, man.
You ready? Are you hyped? I told you the red carpet was coming for you, baby.
Check out Press Start podcast. Check me out, Press Start Kofi. I'm ready to talk these games.
Absolutely. And of course, we have the usual suspects at the round table. My co-host, aka Lord Sleep, don't know where he is just yet.
He getting that premium
sleep.
Oh, there you
go.
Back it up. Let me rewind.
My computer was updating.
Oh, okay. No doubt. So we're going to give it the right treatment. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, and the howl of the young wolf. My man, no longer Lord Sleep. Lord Addict, how are you doing, sir?
Nothing much.
Rough night in the office, sir?
Yeah, I played Shadow of War like all night, trying to get through Act 4.
Blazing, getting them orcs together.
Yeah.
No doubt. And of course, our most technical gaming Lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single-player selfish experience. This week, his offline Switch profile is Illuminati. My man, Lord Sovereign, how are we doing, sir?
Doing all right, man. Doing okay. You know, mourning my Yankees, but you know, what can you do?
Oh man, my condolences, Lord Sovereign.
Yeah,
I know you rep the flag hard, so I know
hard from the cradle to the grave, man. You can't ever call me a bandwagon fan. I look out my window and I see Yankee Stadium. So.
You know what I'm saying? We for the BX, so you already know. Like
they tried hard, man. They tried hard.
I'll say this though, there are things about Major League Baseball and how the game is played that bother me. Like when the Yankees aren't hitting, it can't be home run or bust. Like, and this goes for any major league team. If you aren't hitting, you have to do things to manufacture runs. You gotta bunt, you gotta hit and run, you gotta tag up, you gotta move runners over. They weren't doing any of that. I mean,
but isn't that the manager?
No, it's. I mean, not necessarily the manager.
Listen. I'm not coming from Girardi's head. Listen, I was just putting the crap out there because people like to say that. I do not believe in that. I subscribe in Joe Girardi's philosophy. So yeah,
my thing is that I think it's baseball in general. Like if you look at Aaron Judge, I don't care if he has 50 some odd home runs. The man should know how to drop a bunt. Like it's
facts.
You got to.
Facts. I feel you're going with it.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
I guess the only thing I would ask you, like Lord Saul, because like I said, I haven't been watching baseball at all, but this season, but because the Mets are terrible. But the question I had for you was that, like, from my understanding, like y'all was ahead of schedule, like y'all was really like a young team. That's like I thought this was like way over expectations for y'all to even get that far. Like
absolutely, they showed a lot of heart.
Are we watching? Are we listening? Are we doing an Xbox? A gaming podcast or a baseball podcast?
Because you don't have any sports-like inclinations.
Wow, you really came for somebody, Sleepy?
For real, man.
Let the man talk his Yankee talk, man. This is fresh.
You're about to get boxing talk in a second, so you might as well turn it off. That's all I say about that. They're definitely ahead of schedule in terms of where they should be, but you can't take for granted every time you get into the postseason because there's no guarantee you'll get there again. So, I just think there were certain things. To me, as young as they are, it's still inexcusable that you score 1 run in 2 games.
No, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah,
Salute to your Yanks. And of course, we have the XS Gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports, who is a man of his convictions, willing to put it all on the line and demands nothing less than the premium experience.
Ooh.
Beloved Lord King, how are we doing, sir?
We're doing fantastic. Last night you had Demetrius Andrade versus Fox, and it went to a lackluster, well, in my opinion, a lackluster workmanlike 12-round decision. Demetrius, I really mess with you. I love your skill set. But if you're going to start calling out these wolves out here, these lions out here, you really have to step up your game and knock these dudes out. All right, you gotta give performances that have your name ringing in these streets. And last night, brother, I was nodding off to the left, brother. But I do watch all your shows. It was on HBO last night. Tune in. R.I.P. the Yankees. It was fun. I was on. I was hoping. I had my hope flag. I was Jesse Jackson for you guys. Because I don't pay you no attention. I'm a fake fan. To post.
You the dude that turn it on when the playoffs start. Like,
that's right. If you in the playoffs, if you work that hard, I'm the fake fan that's there. Like,
I'm the same way with basketball and football. If our New York teams are in the playoffs, I'm watching, but not during the season.
It is what it is. No doubt. Okay. And of course, it is Lord Cognito here, spreading that gaming realness on the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So before we get into what the Lords are playing, I want to discuss Lord Kofi's video game history, his video game views from the 6. That switch gang movement, bottles on your head, and the creation of the Press Start podcast. So, Lord Kofi, let's start from the beginning. Like, what are the first kind of systems and games that you had that you bought like back in the day that got you into gaming?
Just like most people with siblings, growing up, I had a Sega Genesis in the house.
Is this a Sega? There we go.
Had a Sega Genesis in the house. I'm not really, really old. Not taking shots at some of y'all, but
no. You can take a shot. The Iron Lords are old.
I'm a little bit of a young blood, so my gaming history don't go back to like Atari. Like I know some people. Some y'all old like that. But yeah, so the first console I actually laid eyes on was the Sega Genesis. Sonic 2, Mortal Kombat 2.
Aren't you? We can actually say we're blessed that we didn't start with the Atari.
No, that's not blessed.
So
definitely a blessing.
Yeah, so that was the first console I've actually laid eyes on was the Sega Genesis. Played with my older brothers, gaming. Always used to get slapped. Funny now, they can't touch me in any game now. So but the first system that was purchased for me, dedicated system that was purchased for me was a Game Boy. It was a Game Boy Color.
Yeah, interesting.
I remember my dad buying it for me in New York when I went to visit. Yeah, so that was like my very first video game device that like my parents actually purchased for me, and maybe that's why I have such a love for handheld gaming.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Quick question, Lord Kofi. Lord Anchorman in the chat asked, how old are you? So this is Young Wolf talk.
Yeah, I'm 24.
24 in the building, baby. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So continue. So then from the Game Boy, where did you go off from next?
The Game Boy, obviously, growing up, I went to friends' houses to play PlayStation. I never owned a PS1. I was an N64 baby. When my dad brought that home, big fan of the N64. Had him from Bomberman, Super Mario 64, Diddy Kong Racing Classic of all time. WCW, NWO Revenge.
Whoa, Kofi,
yes.
Yeah,
that's
so,
like the greatest wrestling series of all time. The
yeah,
Mackie games.
Revenge is my favorite. I know some people like No Mercy better than Revenge, but Revenge was my favorite personally. I still play that game, you know, when family get together. All my brothers we play together, you know, great game. Then from there on, you know, what do we have? We got a Dreamcast at home too. So I grew up playing the Dreamcast. I still have all my Dreamcast games. Then surprisingly, I got an Xbox, an OG Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of my so I didn't get a PS2 until like way later. But when the original Xbox dropped, we got that at the crib. You know, I was a real big fan of Halo. You know, Halo 2 was probably my first online game that I ever played.
Wow.
Thinking about it now, yeah, Fusion Frenzy, all of those games.
Yes.
And ever since I, you know, started working, got my own job, I've pretty much purchased every platform from there on out, basically.
Wow. That's some crazy history, man, because you've got like, you're really eclectic. Like you're all over the board. You had the Game Boy in there.
You know, like,
you started initially with Genesis. Like,
I used to feel salty not owning like multiple platforms as a kid, you know, like trust me, having the Xbox, OG Xbox, and all your friends had PS2 at the time was kind of like tough because they're playing all the classics. They're playing like Dragon Ball, you know, the Budokai games, and nigga, we got like Dragon Ball sagas. Like, stop, you know what I'm saying? So like I used to be over at my friend's house like playing that shit. Until I got it I got it a little bit later, then I got a PS2 later. So, you know, I know the struggle. So ever since then, like I always had that mentality of like, I just want them all, you know what I'm saying? I just want them all. Ever since then. So ever since I got the 360 saved up, bought a PS3, ever since then I've been gaming on everything though, like pretty much.
That's what's up. Yeah. So that's where you get that well-roundedness. That, you know what I'm saying? You're able to understand all the platforms, see it from different perspectives. I
don't really like, you know, I know some people are like really diehard fans of like the consoles itself, but like I've been just more interested in, you know, the software outside, you know. I just care about the game.
That's dope.
I don't really care.
That's dope.
Yeah, Kofi is one of the only people I know to finish Act 4 on a Shadow of War in the street here lately, and let me tell you,
it's not that
I'm doing it, man. There's some rough spots. I mean,
that game came out. Did y'all get early copies or something? I thought it didn't come out until November 7th.
Oh, you funny? See, that's that premium all you want. You want them 4K textures.
Well, first off, Kofi probably has it on PC, so he got the superior version. You're waiting for the generic version. So.
Well, you know what the best part about it is, I said it didn't come out yet in my world. So stop worrying about my world.
Y'all waiting for that Xbox One X Definitive Edition, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But
I gotta justify my purchase. I'm sorry. I can't go play games now, and then when I get my system, I'm like, and what's next? No.
It doesn't matter. You ain't gonna beat that game. I don't see you getting past that grind.
It's not as bad. Like,
it's not. People are
kind of overhyping it.
Act 4 is like 30 hours by itself. I was like, I'm like 3 or 4 hours in, and I'm not, and I'm on like the stage 7. There's only 10 stages.
Look, what's it called? For an open world game, you know, honestly, you could 100% this game. I'm talking about collecting all the collectibles, doing all the side missions in under 50 hours. Like, that's not that bad. Like, people are kind of
that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
A little bit, like.
But don't lose any of those defenses because it's going to increase another 2 hours.
Yeah,
I got no chance.
But I feel like capturing the bases is actually easier than defending, to be honest.
Oh, it is.
So even if you lose, like it's actually because they throw a lot of orcs at you when you're defending, like at different levels and shit. It's actually like there's a couple of times where like what siege was it? Or maybe it was siege level 9. It was actually pretty, you know, challenges, but I actually lost it, right? But recapturing it was actually pretty easy. I feel like they throw less powerful orcs at you. So
well, it's not that they throw less powerful orcs. You own some of the orcs if you infiltrate the base. You only face like one orc.
No
doubt. So we're gonna definitely hit that Shadow War talking once the Lords are playing. Just want to finish up with the Lord Kofi himself as far as views from the 6. Now you from Canada, correct, Loco?
Yeah.
Right. So talk to me about like, you know what I'm saying, like gaming out there, like
It's no different than anywhere, you know. Just the prices is different, basically. You know, we're all
that's what I heard. That's what I wanted to get into. Yeah. Talk to me.
Basically, just games cost more here. That's why that's why I'm glad that I got into PC gaming when I actually did, because you know the prices are honestly blessing me. I don't know. I actually started gaming on PC in 2015, so I'm pretty relatively new. I haven't been gaming on PC forever. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And I'm glad that I got into PC gaming when I did, because some of you guys know that I buy a lot of games. You know, like I play a lot.
Yes,
of
you
games.
do.
Word on the block, Kofi buys everything, plays everything, right? So can you imagine, you know, gaming on all these consoles, paying $79.99 for every game that I play? You know, I'll be broke. I can't afford it. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
I got all this stuff to do. So I'm glad I did get into PC gaming, because the prices are very, very reasonable here. You could get keys for pretty cheap. So
absolutely. Now my question to you, because I was listening to Press Start, and you got, I think you mentioned that you guys don't have like a Best Buy, like you have a Best Buy, but you don't have like a buy the gamers program.
Yeah, we don't have no programs of Gamers Club, because I seen my bro J Main post up like he got Super Mario Odyssey for $35 physical. I'm like, Jesus, you're so lucky.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. I'm paying $90 for that game.
Wow,
so it's crazy.
No.
That's crazy. Wow.
If I had that program over here, my physical collection would probably be kind of insane, to be honest.
No doubt. So of course, I want
Kofi.
Go ahead, Look, you got a question?
Can you come over the border, purchase games, and go back over?
I don't think so. But it's too far. I think it's too inconvenient.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll meet you at the border. You just come over.
Lord King promoting hustling over steak over line.
I set up shop at the gate and I just be like, let's go. Let's get it.
That's gonna look shady as hell. Kofi comes over, then comes right back over. You for like 15 seconds. You carrying something you ain't supposed to.
If it ain't guns and drugs in the car, he good.
I'm done. Boy, promoting hustling over lines right there.
Man, I might get a new business. That might be a new business.
Can the Kofi the plug? Kofi the plug.
That's right. Kofi the plug. Turn him into the plug over there, son. We be rich. Let's do it, Kofi.
I'm done.
Kofi will go over the border with like 2,000 or 3,000 copies of Shadow of War.
That's right.
Yes,
he said $90 for Mario. My head just clicked. I paid $35. I could buy at least 40 copies. Send it over to Kofi and get lit.
Yeah, I wish we had a program like that over here. That'd have been blessed.
Yeah, that's pretty sucks that they don't have anything like that over there.
King's thinking you're about to have a program over there.
Yeah, he really don't understand. He really don't. I'm about to get my
Lord program.
I ain't Lord Gamers Club.
I ain't Lord shipping.
So Lord Kofi, I want to get into that Switch Gang movement. And the reason why I brought it to you is because, you know, I'm new to it. As I've been following on Twitter, I've seen it. I don't know who necessarily originated it.
I
want to clarify that. I want you to clarify that.
100%. I started that whole shit. 100%.
Put your hands in the air.
You know what? Look. It's funny because it was actually like an inside joke between, you know, me, Erica, and you know, Black. You know, I fuck around with these guys on Twitter. You know, like we all just chop it up and stuff. It was like a joke thing. Like when they revealed the Switch, right? Right after the conference, I'm like, yo, who's down with the Switch Gang or some shit? I have a tweet with the date. I think it's still up there. You took a search. And ever since then, like, you know, we've been just using it just to talk shit, you know, and just have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing too serious. Like, I'm not really, you know, walking around with a gray bandana, you know, hitting dudes over you know, I'm not walking around with a Ciroc bottle hitting dudes over the head. You know,
there's no bottles in it. It's not real.
You know, I might have taken it a little bit too far, making those songs and shit. But I was just trying to be, you know, trying to bring some entertainment, because you know you can entertain people without doing, you know, back and forth internet drama like some people like to do, right? So
that crowd side.
Yeah, so I was just making some fun music videos. Started off as an inside joke, kind of blew up, kind of, you know, pretty big that people are using the term and shit like that. So it's pretty funny to watch.
Yo, salute to Kofi. Now, I got the official confirmation on the ILO podcast that he is the originator of the Switch Gang terminology and the movement. So salute, because I've been rapping it hard.
Videos saying he's a liar.
I've been repping it hard. I thought it was the coolest thing. I had everybody on my timeline doing it because just like you, Lord Kofi, we kind of saw it from the beginning that it could be a movement. You know what I mean? So we was out.
Yeah, it finally did. It actually did turn to something bigger than it actually was supposed to. I think it was probably the music videos that I did some shit. Then Omega seen it and like, oh shit, yeah, we need to make a song together. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And, it was just for fun, It was all fun. That's all it was.
Absolutely. We love what you're doing out there. And of course, the last thing I want to talk to you, Lord Kofi, about was also about the creation of Press Start. So how did that come about? Because I actually like your team out there. I believe it was the J Main, your man, Jack Move, Erica, very cool, Alex, like very cool, diverse, you know what I'm saying, cast and panel. So like, tell me the whole start of Press Start.
How Press Start started, I was influenced by other people in the community who have started doing the whole podcast thing because BG and Weapon Wheel, they're an influence. I'll give BG a shout out, even though
shout out to Lord BG, be a fan of his.
But I just been seeing it and I wanted to create something, so I've been like throwing the idea with my friend J Main, been bouncing back.
You're never gonna live that down now. BG's gonna say something every time he can now. Yeah, I have audio proof because of me.
Yeah, so I was bouncing an idea, back and forth with my boy J Main, and we're just talking about like, yo, I'm thinking about starting up a little podcast. So one day I actually did an episode, and it started off good, but one thing I noticed is that like we were growing extremely pretty fast. We started off doing Press Start podcast, every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, and just not that long ago we actually started doing it weekly. And overall it's been pretty good. At first I didn't have a solid cast actually. That's actually kind of new. I always had people who were on the cast like J Main, Jack. Those guys were there from day one. What I'm saying?
Dope.
But I added Erica and Alex a bit later. I was always trying to get new people to show up on the podcast. I was like my thing to get like a lot of different guests to show up.
Nice. Nice, man. Yeah, definitely like what you're doing out there. And like I said, I like you kind of got a nice group. Everybody's got their niche. Everybody got their, they kind of feel what they're into and stuff like that.
It's good people, yeah.
Yeah, really good people. So shout out to the Press Start podcast. Huge fan of the show. So we're going to get into now what the Lords are playing. Since we got Lord Kofi in the building, let's start with him first. What have you been playing this week?
I finished up the Evil Within 2. Great game. Definitely recommend it.
Nice.
I got the true ending in Shadow of War.
Loot box free? Loot box free or the regular?
Without buying a single loot box with real money. I purchased Fire Emblem Warriors. That game is
I like how you said without real money, because if you said without loot boxes at all, I'm gonna call you a liar.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but I use in-game currency, which is I use in-game currency. I purchased Fire Emblem Warriors, started that. The game is meh, like I'm saying. It's not that good, but it's whatever.
Not feeling it.
Yeah,
they switched it up. Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of those games, like, to be honest. Like, I just kind of bought it to waste time until Mario Odyssey drops, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I take my Switch to work with me every day. I've been hopping back, playing Zelda, trying to get all 120 shrines. I'm pretty close. I have 9. Nice. I have 18 more to go. Then I have all 120 shrines.
I can't do something like that without achievements. Like you can't catch me dead doing something.
Yeah, honestly, Gaming Addict, like I'm doing it. I'm thinking how great this would be if it had achievements to show that.
Exactly,
it would be 100 for the Switch getting achievements in the future. Yeah, so I've been doing that. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Continue.
Oh, okay.
No. I was just amen in you, brother, on the achievements.
Yeah. So I have 18 more shrines to go, then I'm done that. So I've been playing that. I'm thinking about picking up Rhyme, finishing that up, before Mario drops. Nice. So that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Lord Addict, what have you been playing this week besides Shadow of War Blazing?
I played Destiny for 2 hours, and I've played Shadow of War for the other 2 days. Okay, I literally had 2 days in Shadow of War.
Wow. Wow, you going hard, man. That's what's up.
I mean, you know, but first, I want to go on a little mini rant real quick, okay? Like, who said this stuff about Shadow of War? You can only get legendary orcs through loot boxes.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that. I even said that shit on my podcast. I had to even clarify because that's not true at all.
And that the act 4 takes 30+ hours. I'm like, this is what we get for listening to some of these media people, man. Like, because
people that don't play the games.
All
the way through.
And it starts at Firestorm misinformation.
Act 4 would probably take 30+ hours if you suck at it.
Yeah.
Because if you lose the defense, if you lose every defense siege, you're gonna be there for a minute because you have to retake the castle, and that takes longer than the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that go into our last topic last week where people that aren't qualified are reviewing these games?
Yeah, it spreads into that also. Just a little bit of, like I said, like once a firestorm starts and then it's just a whole bunch of misinformation because I didn't know anything. Yeah, I didn't know anything about, you know, what the specifics were with the loot boxes. So I was watching people like Kofi's timeline and people, you know, that bought the game, my man Lord Addict, and said like, yo, what's really going on? And people are like, nah, it's none of that legendary orc stuff behind the thing. So it just goes to show you how things can get out of control, misinformation gets spread, and then people taking that as fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, Lord Addict.
Yeah. All right.
Addict, I wanted to ask you a question, right? Let's say I purchased this loot crate, right? And I get this legendary orc or whatever y'all talking about here, right? Can I lose him?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what.
The hell with that! I'm not doing that.
That's why spending money is honestly retarded in this game because your orcs can die in combat. So like, why?
Do you know how pissed I would be? I paid $5 for this orc and he go lose in battle. I will break my teeth.
That's like what's funny is H1Z1.
I wanted to ask Addict something like, you know, I've used the in-game currency, right? Because obviously that speeds up the process, right? So, you know how when you're in the market and you want to actually deploy your orc, you know what's kind of bullshit? Like I opened basically a loot crate and I placed them in like one of the positions, right? And I was doing it again, but basically like my whole place is full up, right? So basically they kill each other. You know what I'm trying to say? So basically I'm saying I killed the guy I just opened. Someone. Yeah, Wow. So basically the guy that I just put in there, I was putting another guy in there and he killed the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of bullshit. Can you imagine paying real money for that to happen? Like that would be
Yeah, Kai in the chat says, "Can we have loot insurance? You gotta buy insurance for your loot crate purchase."
No.
Yeah, so honestly, I think the loot boxes in that game is pretty pointless, especially if you're buying orcs and shit, because they could freaking die and just waste some money.
Oh, I thought they'd be invincible. They'd be the unstoppable godlike orc. I'm not. No.
Are they stronger though? I thought they said they were stronger though.
No, they're not stronger. They're just legendaries. Like I've known because they give you in-game gold. To
try it once. To try it once. And I did notice the time that I used the in-game gold, I got nothing but legendaries. Yeah,
so they encouraging that.
Legendaries, it's more if you spend real money, but you can get a legendary orc from using the regular one.
Silver. Yeah,
you can.
The thing that's funny is, you know, it's what I've said a lot. For those that's been in parties with me, there's these things called the pits. It's where you pit up an ogre against an orc against an orc.
Yeah,
you have to do it for variety of things. And the funny thing about it is, like, when I got that gold, I sent that legendary in there to infiltrate him into a war chief, and he got wrecked. And I'm like, if I would have paid money, I'd be very mad right now.
I saw that video clip. I saw a video clip with one of your, I think it was one of your orcs. They put a bomb into his stomach and they blew him up or something like that. It was crazy. Like,
that's crazy.
They were going one-on-one, and one of them he ground and pounded one and beat him, and then he just blew up. And then it seemed like he put a grenade into his stomach or something like that.
The question what you asked is how often. The $1 million question is how often did y'all run into legendary orcs?
Oh, a lot.
A lot. Yeah, they're not like rare in the game. Actually, just playing the game normally, you see them all over the place.
Now you will find out if you seek nothing but legendaries for the siege defenses, that's a different story because like you have 6 or 7 siege spots, so sometimes you'll find yourself settling with epics and not looking for it like extra. Like I think I have like 3 to 4 legendaries on every siege defense. Like
they're a little bit overrated. Like honestly, I have some high power orcs that are not even legendary.
What you want is you want someone with enrage everything or enrage on injury, and you'll win every fight after that. You won't need anything.
I got shut down.
I was about to ask you, Lord Cognito, how long was you gonna let this go on?
No, I was gonna let them rock
because I've been took my headset off.
I know everybody, was bought it and they're not like us. I'm in the minority. I did not, did not buy it just yet because I'm waiting for the Scorpio version for that premium, kind of experience. But I didn't want to shut it down because I know, it's popular right now. And people who are not buying the X, they are buying it. So I wanted to give that respect, on that. We go
fun thought though. More people are buying Cuphead than any other game on Xbox right now. Even
they should.
No doubt. So Lord Sav, what have you been playing?
Same thing as last week, man. Working a lot, so very little Destiny. I was able to get my Crucible milestone yesterday. I just played for a little while. I'm at 3. I'm damn near 304 now. But I can't set aside time to do a raid. I really want to do the raid.
We gotta get you through that.
And beyond that, just stuff on Switch, more Axiom Verge, and excited for Mario. Taking the day off Friday to play some Mario. So,
all right, get ready for the Odyssey. That's what's up.
Sir.
No doubt, Lord King. What have you been playing this week?
Crazy.
Destiny, to much dismay.
Don't go in too hard. Save it for my topic.
Yeah, I got it. I just want to say, like, this week, I started the Nightfall. I waited for Tuesday like everybody else, and then we got to the Nightfall, and the Nightfall was the shadow dude that was disappearing at the end. And you remember me and you, we did it. Right. So okay, so we got it done that day. After you had bounced out, we had got it done, right? So the next day I said, yo, I'm gonna jump on with the rest of my characters and knock this stuff out. And it was switched. It wasn't that same Nightfall. So I was perplexed. I thought I was in the Matrix. I really thought it was a butterfly effect, the Mandela effect. I'm like, I know I'm not bugging. I know for sure because I recorded it. I know for sure that I went back and I looked and I'm like, what's going on? Well, they had a hot fix. Actually, they said there was a lot of bugs in it. All right. So this whole week I've been doing Nightfalls every day, at least like 10 a day on
Why are you doing so many Nightfalls though?
Oh, everybody in my clan has been wanting to get past it.
Bro, got you.
So we've been doing it on Prestige. I got a way to do it on Prestige and to knock it out with the 5 minutes. So I'm getting everybody their Rat King and giving everybody halos. Cause like, I'm giving them the Christ look. Here you go, boom, bang, boom, bang. Take that aura, run around the tower with that.
Get your aura.
Yeah, but I've been doing Prestige all week. So
no doubt. Anything else besides Destiny? Or just
I wanted to do the raid, but I'll save that for your topic.
Yeah, we get into that. No doubt. No Cognito here. So for me it's pretty much I kind of when we get into my topic, you'll understand why I've kind of cooled a little bit on Destiny this week. I got the Nightfall done, Lord King, and then shout out to Reeve, shout out to Demon. We got some other stuff done, but man, I've just been really hopping back on my Switch. I want to shout out Dark Media. Wolverblade, man. This is my low indie game right now on the Switch.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Having so much fun with this game. It's like Kofi. I don't know if you ever seen it. It's like a hack and slash kind of old school beat 'em up joint. It's like $20. Yeah, have you seen it?
Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah. So basically, if you look on the eShop, it's like $20, and like I said, name of the game is Wolverblade. They talked about it on the Nindy showcase. Like not that long ago, but I've been having a good time with it. It's co-op, real brutal. So shout out to them guys over there that made that game. It's really, really fun game. So other than that, just been kind of getting ready for Mario, getting my stuff together as far as the Switch is concerned. So it's gonna be big. So we're gonna get into this last poll. So last week's the ILP poll is in. The people have spoken to the question with games like Cuphead, Zelda, Dark Souls, Hellblade, etc. Are we seeing a resurgence of hard difficulty games becoming popular? The winner at 97% in the most lopsided ILP poll ever is the yes, real skills are back group. And coming in at a whopping 3% is the no, hard games do not equal good games group. So I want to thank for those who participated in that at Iron Lord Podcast Twitter poll. What do the Lords think about this?
They spoke.
I mean, I agree. I mean, hard games don't necessarily equal a good game. It has to be. I mean, it's things like Dark Souls and things like Cuphead. I mean, these games are developed. They're superior games. They're excellent at what they do. So yeah, a hard game doesn't necessarily equate to being a good game. But yeah, man, like people, I think more and more, especially when with Dark Souls and now Cuphead, it's one of those things where people are more and more willing to engage with these games. Like I said before, like when Dark Souls first came out, I kind of didn't mess with it, and then little by little, like I got it free. I got it with Games of Gold, and I tried out the first Dark Souls, and I was like, wow, I can get into this. And I have Bloodborne on the PS4, and it's like it's a matter of having the patience and be willing to lose a lot to get better and to understand, and you will constantly improve. But it's just one of those things. Like if you don't have the patience for it, it's going to turn you off immediately. But I think that's fantastic.
No, I feel you, man. Like, it's good to see. Like I said, them games type succeeding and bringing skills back. What do you feel, Kofi, as far as these hard difficulty games kind of back in the spotlight?
I like them. Like Cuphead is one of the recent games, right, that a lot of people are having trouble with. I really enjoyed that game.
I didn't realize how
it. You know what it is?
People beat that game until I seen it. There's not a lot of people that speak up at it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people don't have the patience for it. Basically, they're not progressing. They put it down. You know what I'm saying? So.
Facts.
Gamers nowadays,
shout out to Kids.
They don't even like hard games. Yeah,
shots fired.
I don't think even Kid Smooth has beat the game yet. He needs to get on that. Yeah, like, honestly, yeah, games. I think there's always gonna be hard games around, or games that take a lot of skill to play.
Yeah, absolutely. You were saying something, Lord Addict?
No, it's okay. I'll go.
You gotta let it go. All right, good.
For Planet Xbox.
No doubt.
Wow. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. So we got a lot of topics to get into. We're gonna get this thing popping. So, Lord Sav, I heard the NPDs came out.
So yeah, my topic was initially the Sony Music Entertainment developing third-party games now, but it's gonna come into play. But there's so much of the stuff that came out, so it's gonna be just a switch topic. So yeah, like September NPDs came out, and Nintendo for the third month in a row has won the hardware. Something that we like. Some of us have been saying nay, some of us have been saying yay, but the fact of the matter is that I've always felt that Nintendo was stockpiling just for this purpose, so to be ready for the end of the year. And it seems that there are finally more systems in stores and people are able to purchase, and more people are picking up their Switches. So it's fantastic to see that they're winning hardware. Hopefully that carries through to the end of the year. In terms of software, there's something going on with the NPD though. In terms of software, like the actual list isn't out.
Yeah, I heard it's coming Monday. I heard it's coming Monday.
Right.
There was some type of miscount or something. They're trying to get that straightened out before they put out the definitive list, so to speak. So the Nintendo put out where they placed in it. But I guess,
they placed. Mario Rabbids did 7th, I think. 8th was Samus Returns, Breath of the Wild, and Mario Kart 8 are on the list also at 10 and 11. So they're games that are still selling well. They're still selling well, and we expect that to be up there again with Mario at the end of next week. So yeah, man. I mean, again, it's what we were hoping from Nintendo. The worry was that they weren't going to be able to have the stock ready to go, so that people's excitement to purchase this at the end of the year would be satiated, and so far so good. So we'll see. The funny thing will be is if they sell out before November, and come November systems left. So that's
why this year are
NPD
saying that they have increased their production to like 2 million or some shit.
2 million a month.
Yeah, 2
million a month. So and I've already seen pictures of the Mario bundles in stores. I'm sure some people are breaking street date on that because it's supposed to not go on sale until next week. But I'm sure people are breaking street date on that. So the bundles out there
on that here.
Oh, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. And I'm sure the mom and pops around, if they have it, they're selling it.
You know, Mr. Lee got that for $500.
For $500
overcharging.
Yeah, well, of course, that's his game. That's the
knife out Lee.
Game. Knife in the back. So that's fantastic. Let's hope they keep it up. In terms of
let's not. Hope
yeah, I know you hope not, but
look, Kofi, just so we give Kofi context. Two of the lords here, both of the lords are split on the round table. So we got me and Asav. We believe Nintendo will win November NPD. Yeah, and then we have Lord King and Lord Addict. They're going with Xbox One X. I mean, actually, the whole Xbox brand, because you got to count the whole Xbox, as a brand. So we've been battling each other for months, Kofi, as far as who, you know what I
mean? Look, I actually thought Nintendo wouldn't win September, to be honest, because Destiny 2.
Thank you.
The bundle. So I was actually shocked when I heard that.
They PlayStation didn't win September is because they only had a pro bundle of Destiny.
Okay. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting times. Like, I really don't watch NPD too tough, but like obviously with the launch of the Xbox One X, everyone's paying attention to see, the interest. Basically, everyone's trying to gauge the interest for this, because a lot of people have hyped this console up, and we want to see if it wins NPD. Because if it doesn't win, damn, Twitter gonna be lit.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Twitter's gonna be lit. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I fell on the side that like, come on, yo, like Microsoft's about to launch a new console. Like, how can it lose? But then again, I think about like, yo, like that Mario Odyssey's doing numbers. Because if you guys don't know, man, like even Odyssey with only pre-orders, like it passed Horizon already on the Amazon, like for like it's crazy. So like the hype for that game is insane. We all know the attach rate for that game is gonna be insane. And it's tough. It's tough. Xbox or Switch. I don't know. I don't even know if PlayStation is gonna have a.
I don't think they have a chance.
Yeah, I don't think they have a real say.
Now, let me ask you, even with any of the bundles, like the you figure what they might go Star Wars. What bundles we figure they might come strong with as far as games they have marketing.
Star Wars. Don't they have a Call of Duty one?
They got Call of Duty. They got the marketing rights.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting. But if honestly I had to make a bet, at first I was like Xbox, but now I'm looking at the hype for Odyssey. I'm thinking, maybe Nintendo got this actually.
No doubt.
Maybe Nintendo got this, but I'm still kind of iffy about it.
Okay, I feel you. It is iffy. It's close. It could go either way. We want to, for the record, on the Iron Lord podcast. For the record, we're saying Lord Kofi's going Switch.
Shit, yeah.
For the record, I need we asked Hip Hop Gamer, we got Ren. I need Kofi on the record because we're gonna do this thing called the Bend the Knee segment, right? And the Bend the Knee segment for everyone, you know what I'm saying, when the MPD dropped that December, we're saying who won November. I need y'all back for a quick little recap segment. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be called Bend the Knee or Who Won the Month.
Yeah, I know. Like every single podcast right now on YouTube that does gaming discussions has like a little bet going on with November MPD. That's why it's so interesting because we just want to see what the X is going to do, man.
Yeah,
we all want to see what the X is going to do.
We have
it's sold out
on the podcast saying it's going to be Xbox. So
it's sold out, but is this sold out enough?
Yeah, that doesn't really say anything to me. When Microsoft comes out, we sold out of Scorpio editions. Like we don't know the numbers, we don't know how much.
There could be 5,000 of them for all we know.
This is what I'm saying. What got me thinking? Look, right now, the Xbox One S is getting curb stomped right now. You know what I'm saying? So are you really telling me that everybody's holding off to get a X for $500? And it's what's it called? Is it $499 in the States? What is it?
Yeah, $499.
Yeah, and
how much is it for you?
It's $599 here in Canada. So I know niggas are not out here going crazy over that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking maybe Nintendo got this. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Nintendo got this because
now
honestly,
play it. Go ahead, Kofi. I'll let you finish. My bad.
Because like honestly, like if Microsoft won like a couple of months, you know, like September, and then maybe like people are out here buying Xboxes. You know what I'm saying? But apparently, like the last NPD that Xbox one was all the way in 2016 October or something like that. That's what I heard. Or someone told me that on Twitter. I might be wrong on that, but I heard the last time Microsoft won NPD was all the way in 2016. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I don't know if every single Xbox fan is out here gonna buy an X like that. I really doubt it. I think a lot of people are just talking on the internet.
Now let me play devil's advocate, Lord Kofi, because even though I'm repping the Switch gang for that month, let me play that. Now, what about with the combination of the Xbox One S, and let's just say they drop that law, because we know that's the base model, right? And even Phil Spencer himself has said
that's one should sell the most, right? That's the one that everyone yeah, but the thing is, it ain't even, it's always hitting third though. That's the thing though. It's always hitting third for like how long now?
You're right. You're absolutely
so that's
right.
you know what I'm saying? So if no one's buying them now, like unless they have some crazy kind of $199 deal, which you know Microsoft's known for like having some crazy deal with like 5 games or some shit, basically giving you that shit. Then I don't know. Like right now the Switch is hot. We all know it. A lot of people said shit gonna flop right out the gate. They're wrong. Right now the Switch is hot. You know, got one of the biggest games dropping. So it's very likely it's obviously a battle. I see a battle between you know, Nintendo and Microsoft, really, because they got a new console. It'll be a surprise if Sony freaking won that in November.
That would be how crazy would that be?
Yeah, that would
be crazy.
That would be no one's watching for that. No one's watching for that though.
I wouldn't put it past it because let's be real here. They got a Star Wars bundle and a Call of Duty bundle in November.
Yeah, like you really could go either way.
Some ugly bundles, man.
Those
are some ugly bundles.
Theoretically, how upset would you guys be if Microsoft got first, Sony got second, and Switch got third?
Oh wow,
but would it be? It would just be a funny turnout. Like you know, we're all just like making.
That'd be weird.
It would just be a funny turnout. Like
really,
the thing is, like, yo, there's like what 65 millions PlayStation sold or some shit like that or shipped. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of crazy number. Like. Damn, like if Sony Consi come through and win, it would be pretty impressive.
That would be pretty impressive.
Honestly, I might have to just come with a definitive answer and say, yo, Switch got it.
My man Kofi, Switch gang in the building.
All right, Switch got it in November, and it definitely got it October, I think.
No doubt. We'll revisit that bend the knee when you get back. No doubt. Right. Lord Sov, you were saying about the rest of your topics in reference to the
NPD, so
what you want to talk about?
Not the NPD stuff, the new Sony Music Entertainment wing that's publishing indie titles for PC.
Kind of like jumping into my topic.
Well, okay, let me just we can go into your topic afterwards, but this is the Unties label. And it does go into your topic because it's showing Sony's need and willingness to kind of play nice with with its quote unquote competitors without necessarily directly playing nice. If you notice, so this new label is going to be publishing games on PC and Switch, and it says other platforms, but I doubt very much those other platforms include Xbox. I don't think that's happening. So what's interesting about this is that, Sony, after they sort of made it clear that they kind of didn't need indies anymore, probably realizing that it wasn't the best PR move. So by doing it this way, by Sony Music Entertainment kind of taking this new publishing wing instead of Sony proper, they're able to sort of support third parties and also support other platforms without necessarily directly doing it with the Sony, under the quote unquote Sony banner. I think it's perfect because they're realizing that the Switch is huge for indies now. I think if you look at indies, it's becoming sort of the de facto platform for it, even more than PC. Because of the portability factor, so I think it's a smart move. But it ties into what King is gonna say and what I've been saying all along, that Microsoft and Sony need to play nice with Nintendo. It makes sense that they would.
We ain't gonna go too tough because that's Lord King. We ain't gonna go too tough with that one. But I know where you're going with that. I know it's going. What do the Lords think about, real quick, about that whole, deal, so to speak, as far as Sony with the game?
Well, I feel that Sony, they're very slick. These
Yep.
guys are they're worms. They're worms. They're worms, man, and everybody's infested with worms. So, listen, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that they cover their bases, and I feel them. I would cover my bases as well. If you see somebody hot over there, you're gonna try to associate yourself in some form or factor by tagging their name in something, or every time they're doing something, your name is linked to it. So they understand that these guys is getting bread out here and they're moving, and they don't have a handheld system in these streets. So why not produce games that can be put on this handheld portable slash? They're not looking at it as a home system. They're looking at it as a portable. And yeah, get our games on it that are in that portable space. Let's make some bread off of these dudes, but let's do it in a way that it doesn't say Sony. It says cheapy games, and people don't understand that cheapy is Sony.
Now, Lord King, you want to just bleed into your topic right now as far as your your whole switch finesse. You got the switch finesse thing going on.
Yes,
you want to
sir.
explain it to the round table?
All right. Well, check this out, guys. I've noticed Nintendo, and since their humbleness from doing the Wii U, they got humbled, bro. They really came in on a high, and they was just like, yeah, because that Wii had them smoking. They was smoking in these streets. So selling 100 million. Come on, man. You think you can't do no wrong. Well, they did wrong. They did wrong. They did terrible, actually. They did horrible. And that was mixed messaging. So, when it came to the Switch, it was no mixed messaging. And they purposely positioned themselves so they didn't look like direct competitors to the big two. Now, we're going to keep saying the big two, and I'm only talking in terms of power. I'm not talking in terms of stature or legendary status or whatever. I'm just talking about in terms of power. All right?
Yeah.
So we know that it can't compare. So once they looked over and they said, that's their specs. Right? Okay. You like
about those NX early release. Yeah.
Exactly. That's Junior. He's our Junior. That's Junior. Don't pay Junior no mind. Oh, look at Junior. All right. Well, Junior comes out in these streets and Junior's knocking home runs out the park. All right. And we know Nintendo with their little strategies as far as bleeding it and making it forcing people to believe that there's a need to purchase the system, but not having it available. And if you got one, you felt like you was a chosen few, and you saw your friend with it, and you needed it, and you understand. So this false fear that they put out for everybody to make sure that they get a Switch, they're ensuring the fact that when Switches are available, everybody purchases. All right. So false demand. They made that. Now, in doing this, they positioned themselves in a way that they weren't threatening to Microsoft and they weren't threatening to Sony. And now they have Sony and Microsoft making games, doing cross-play, sharing networks. And my question to you guys is, did Nintendo pull the ultimate hustle by having these guys work for them to boost up their system, and will they overtake these guys in ensuring that Microsoft is playing cross-play with these guys and using their systems, and Sony's making games for them? Like, who would have thought in this weird, bizarre world this would happen? Did y'all see this coming? Because I didn't.
Kofi, what do you feel about Lord King's Switch finesse theory? They finessing out here. What do you think?
As for Nintendo, like, kind of putting a little bit of Switches out there, I don't know. All these companies pretty much do the same shit. Like, I feel like that's like the same concept what Microsoft was trying to do with their little Scorpio edition. Have a limited quantity to get people super hype.
It's sold out everywhere.
And your whole advertisement slogan was or buy what was it, like it'll be gone forever or some shit like that, something will be gone forever, and I feel like all these companies pretty much do all that shit. But as for Nintendo finessing Sony to put games on their platform, I don't know about that. I guess they're seeing the success of Nintendo and they want to jump board, because Sony themselves said that they're not trying to do another handheld again, right?
Yep.
So why not get some money or put some games on the platform? And I don't know, I didn't really read too much about that story. Like, what was that all about? Like, Sony's gonna be publishing games or some shit, but as a different name. Right?
Yeah, Lost Saul was gonna break it
Yeah.
down. What's the deal with
Yeah.
that whole situation with Sony?
So basically, yeah, Sony, they opened up a label called Unties, basically, literally untying them from the Sony name, and it's just it's under Sony Music Entertainment. So they're going to be publishing indie games on PC and what they said, quote unquote, other platforms, but they already confirmed at least one. I think it's called Tiny Metal, to come to the Switch, the first one.
It doesn't seem like a big deal too much.
I mean, from what I've seen of the games, I mean, they seem like they're 3D action games, so they're not, you know, pixel art 2D side-scrolling games. Like they require some horsepower. So we'll see the quality overall of these games that are coming out. But it's just, to me, it's just a little funny that they're doing that. They're kind of sneaking in the back door after they said that they need them anymore. But again, like King said, like you see the power of the Switch, you see what the Switch is doing. It makes no sense. You have to try to find some way to get a piece of that pie, you know?
And as for Microsoft wanting crossplay, seems like Microsoft has been pretty friendly overall ever since they started getting their ass whooped. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. They have to play nice.
They've been trying to get crossplay with PlayStation for how long? You know what I'm saying? So them doing it with Nintendo, I don't really see as Nintendo finessing them. I think Microsoft is just trying to be as friendly as possible. You know what I'm trying to say? To look, just to present themselves as consumer friendly as possible. I think that's what Microsoft really trying to do.
I got you, Lord Attic. What do you feel about this whole Switch finesse theory that Lord King's got going on? You think they finessing out here to try to act like they wasn't the threat and then sneak up? Like, what do you think?
I think it's just out of theory.
Okay, all right.
I mean, when it comes down to it, like, I understand, but you know, Sony just sees. First off, I think they're only going to really put stuff that was on the Vita. You know, their studios that do the Vita. I think they're probably going to pour all those resources into one studio, just popping out games for the Switch that's good on portable.
Okay. Now, I feel it's interesting. I'm gonna jump in real quick. I mean, yeah, I hear where Lord King's going because it's kind of interesting. Like when Switch was announced, like, you know, let's be honest. Like, I mean, for the most part, the industry kind of, I wouldn't say roll their eyes, but until they got the information, it was kind of like, okay, we'll see. You know, kind of thing. And as the advertisers started to come through and, you know, you start to get an idea of what this thing was. It was like this hybrid console. And to be honest with you, Lord Kofi, like that's what sold me when I first saw that initial commercial.
As soon as I seen that you could play it anywhere, it was like a handheld. It's pretty much a portable. It's a handheld, you know. You could call it a home console all you want, you know, but it's freaking dead. It's a tablet. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it's a portable, right from the beginning, I thought it was going to be a success as soon as because what Nintendo handheld is not really popping, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that you know, I heard Nintendo combined their handheld studios with their like home console studios or some shit like that. So I kind of seen that like this thing is going to be popping. But you know, some people predicted that handheld gaming is dead. You know what I'm saying? But they're even right now, though. So.
Yeah, please.
Do that shot. I see you.
I remember. No,
it's all good.
Nintendo made I like how some people are running with this. Nintendo made a poll, right? They made a poll of like where do you play your Switch, and the most place, like the most choice selected was at home. I play my Switch mostly at home too, but how I play my Switch at home is totally different. I don't know about y'all though, but like my Switch is off dock most of the time. Only time when I'm live streaming, so I pretty much played at home like a portable, and I feel like a lot of people play it like this too. So
no, absolutely. I mean, for me,
it's definitely its form factor. Yeah, it's definitely its form factor, and portability is a huge selling point. If people don't see that, then
huge selling. Yeah, for me, I work at time. It's literally on my work desk, right next to me. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I get any type of downtime, to the point where it's like I look forward to going to the doctor's office. I look forward to I'm at the D&D and I gotta wait long because I'm like, oh, this is a long line today. Cool.
Yeah.
Sit to the side, put my headphones.
Yeah.
You already know what it is. So it's like
I take my Switch every day to work.
Exactly. Yeah. That is huge, and to be able to mimic console experiences, you know, pretty much with not much loss, and you're still on the go with it was just amazing. So, you know, back to Lord King's question with the whole finesse thing, I do think there's some level of like people underestimated it, right? So then it comes out, it's now a success. And I just think, to Lord King's point, there is some interestingness with the timing of like the Sony announcement now, you know, with them, that studio making a game, with Minecraft being, you know what I'm saying, crossplay, with Rocket League, you know what I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying that maybe Microsoft's looking at it like maybe they're not, it's not benefiting them, like, you know, completely, but I do feel that that helps Nintendo. Like that, to me, really,
more content on
yeah,
platform,
bigger player base, you know, as far as the online. Shout out to Triggerman in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I hear what you're saying as far as the crossplay, but the way I look at it, as far as the reason why I think it's a benefit is because when you have a game and ultimately like the community has gone on from it, that online lobby shrinks. So if you have more people in a pool to play from your game, to me it just lasts longer. So I think ultimately that's one of the benefits of it. And I seen him in the chat asking about like what he feel about it. But yeah, man, I think it's one of them things that's like slyly Nintendo's kind of getting to eat off of that.
And that's what I feel like. I don't think that forward thinking to kind of purposely do it, but the fact is like they kind of slyly eating off of it because it just makes sense. The form factor of the system, the way the system is perceived to be used, isn't in direct competition for the most part with what the big two are doing. So I mean, I think the big two are realizing that there's no reason not to get in bed with them in different ways. It just doesn't make sense.
I think the whole reason with Sony is that they're like, look, we have an infrastructure in our company that makes games for you know, handhelds. It's useless not to use them now since we have an outlet for a handheld. We might not own that handheld, but at least we can make some money off the stuff we used to do on the Vita, but not have to produce the hardware.
Yep,
exactly.
And I feel Microsoft has software that you will see Spartan Assault. Hear it from me. You're gonna see Spartan Assault on that system. You're gonna see Halo Wars, probably 1, I don't think 2, on that system.
I doubt to see that though.
But Microsoft is going to produce games for that system. That system is going to get to the point where I'm noticing it, and I'm saying it, and I'm saying they have positioned themselves that we're the non-threatening friend. Go ahead, change your clothes in front of us. We don't care what you got, and they do care. Listen, I'm telling you, these guys is pulling the ultimate finesse. Sony gonna do some old HD remake of some old games and put it on their joint. They gonna be like, yo, listen, you can eat over here. It's okay. It's safe. It's fine. Nobody's gonna look at you weird.
Honestly, if like Nintendo plays their cards right, they honestly could have in their hands like one of the greatest portable systems that I've ever
Absolutely.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying?
It
just depends how it depends how they manage it, you know, what content they bring to it, you know, the updates, what people want. Like if they do it properly, like when I hold my Switch, it feels amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's funny you said that.
It looks great.
That's the biggest difference between the Switch and the Wii U, besides portability, is the Wii U gamepad felt awkward in my hand.
Yeah, you know, it feels a little bit of a toy. This one feels like it looks good. It looks like a premium product.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel like it was designed to be seen with.
I know. Gaming Addict played Zelda Breath of the Wild on it. You played Zelda on it. Like, how does the game look on the display? It just looks. I don't know to you, but to me, it looks like a magical.
Know where my dock is. Like, to be real with you, I have no clue where my dock is.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just pretty amazing to see such a quality, like, you know, looking game on such a small form factor like that, and that's the sell of it. I think once people actually play it and try it out and see how good the games actually look on the display, people will understand immediately. You know, the appeal of the console.
You want to jump in?
Yeah, it's funny that he mentioned like the updates and stuff, because the new update just came out, the 4.0 update that brings the Switch further into the 21st century.
Step in the right direction.
We got USB headset chat. What we got?
USB headset. We got USB headsets. What else did they add? What else?
We got Switch record that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, record that. Oh my God, we have 30 seconds of video. We have 30 seconds of video.
God,
Grandpa Nintendo out here in the street.
Grandpa's coming.
There it goes. Clap for the retarded kid. Hey!
Get it somewhere, you know.
But they trying. They trying.
I love that talk. I love the talk.
And it's less than a year.
It's clap for the retarded kid.
Like, you know what the funny thing I love about this is when, like, you know, like it's like everything that, you know, let's say that in gaming you have like divisions, like, you know, you got the gaming division, the features division. Besides the gaming division, I feel like I hear it's Nintendo, man. They're trying way too often. Okay,
look, because we all know, we all know they suck. Like, let's keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
We all know they suck with features. We all know they suck with online. We all know they suck. So that's why, like, we kind of treat it. I understand. Look, we have higher standards for Xbox and PlayStation. There's no denying it. We have higher standards. Even, you know, when like party chat's not working or on the fucking Xbox Live, people are going crazy and shit because we have higher standards. For Nintendo, you know, people, I guess we do give them a pass because for so long, like, they just been behind. So when they finally do some like right, or that should be in there from the gate, then people are excited and happy. You know what I'm saying? Because like they just do things so, they do pretty much. But they just do their things so different. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's such a big deal when Nintendo
Special
does
Olympics.
So basic, you know it's pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
Oh man.
Look, podcast.
I know podcast is not discriminate.
Pretty
Listen,
much. He's saying facts, though. He's saying facts. It is pretty much.
It's facts, man. Come on,
It's like,
they
you know, what I get in you know, disputes and stuff with, like, you know, the lineup on the Switch. It's like, look, like, you know, I get that people like certain games on the Switch, but, you know, I am kind of a, you know, a closet, you know, achievement person. I like achievements on the down low. Like, I don't really tell a whole lot of people that if there's a game on the Xbox, it's being bought on the Xbox for achievement. So
I feel you, and I totally understand that logic. I mean, the way I look at it is, I mean, what I love it. I mean, I heard there was a rumor that they could be working on it, so I'm hoping
they're working on it. Apparently, we'll see if they come though. I hope they come.
Yeah, that would be dope if they included that, Kofi, with the online subscription and really go hard. Shout out Lil K Smooth in the chat, baby.
Yeah, different name to it.
If you ask me, man, I don't even know why they're charging for this shit, because like this shit, honestly, you don't have a voice chat, can't even send messages, you shouldn't be charging. Like, that's not
but look, Kofi, they just added the feature that if you get a text message, it don't interrupt you.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, that shit retarded to me. Like, honestly, yeah.
It's the part that, like, look, like, you know, people on Twitter, you know, Blandrew, Dr. Dre, are like, oh, I don't know if Blandrew said it, but I have seen Dr. Dre. It's like, oh, third party support's coming. I'm like, okay, you got Doom that came out like 2 years ago. Well, it was last year, and you got but you know, Wolfenstein coming out maybe 6 months later.
You know what's funny though? Like, if you honestly bought a Nintendo Switch expecting all major third-party games, I'm gonna slap yourself real quick one time. You know what I'm saying? Baby, probably slap yourself real quick, because you know we already know its hardware limitations. It can't play every single next-gen experience.
Absolutely.
People look at me weird when I say I only bought it for first parties. Like, I have no interest.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. That's what I do with my PlayStation right now.
Nothing wrong with that. And like for you right now, there's nothing grabbing you into like those big releases and, you know, Odysseys and all that stuff. So I get it. You know, I totally get it for you. It's just one of those things. Like,
I have to see some gameplay on not gameplay, but I have to see how
I hate on Odyssey, bro.
It's not that I'm hating.
It's not even low key hating.
Well, it's not that I'm hating on Odyssey. It's that what I played at E3 was cool, but it was like nothing grabbing. Like, it didn't get me hyped for the game or anything like that.
You know, I think it's a lot of it's a nostalgia. Like, if you like I said, I have a big history with like Mario 64 and stuff like that. 3D Mario. I guess if you really play those type of games, like, I can understand. Like, you don't care for them.
It's like I was telling Lord Cognito, like, I played Mario 64, Mario Odyssey, and Mario Galaxy and Sunshine, but I ain't never beat any of those games.
So it's really not your cup of tea. So
I prefer the platforming ones, like the 2D platforming ones.
See, I'm the opposite. Like, the 2D ones are okay to me. I like the 3D ones better.
Yep, I'm gonna play the hell out of that game. That's the only game that came out in October.
And that's fine. Like, people like
not getting games till November, fiasco.
I don't know why it bothered you. You're playing.
I can wait a week to play Assassin's Creed and Wolfenstein. I can wait a week.
It's all good. It's all good. So we gonna wrap up the Switch finesse topic. Lord Addict, you got to talk about Visceral. What's going on, man? A lot of stuff.
Yeah, EA announced EA announced that they're closing Visceral Studios down. I'm pretty sure it's already closed by now. And you know, they're the I know a lot of people. For those of you that they made Dead Space, and I know a lot of people, and they made the infamous the game that probably destroyed their company, which was Hardline. I don't care what Lord Demon says, that game was trash. But and a lot of people are real upset over the Star Wars thing. And I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, am I the only one that's getting a little like tired of Star Wars games? Like, I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of being everywhere.
How much do you really play though? Like, when you really?
Oh, shots! Get him!
I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to think about it. Like, you're saying there's a lot of Star Wars games, but like, besides like the Lego bullshit that we've been seeing in the years, like, well, how many really Star Wars games has there?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily games. I think it's Star Wars
in general. Okay, I see. Yeah.
I mean, ever since
thinking about the games, like,
it's like every year I see hype for another movie, then I hear a game getting announced, and then hype for another movie, then I hear Square Enix is making games, and I'm just like, yo, I think Square Enix making Marvel games actually.
It was so quiet. It was so quiet after the second trilogy for a long time, and then once Disney took over, they were gonna milk that.
We gotta get that money back.
Exactly. Disney's gonna kill you for the next 30 years.
Besides the Battlefront games, and what was the last Star Wars games to drop? Was it like Force Unleashed kind of crap?
No. The last Star Wars games to release before the Battlefront, it was that one got canceled. The 1313.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, besides that, it might be Force Unleashed. I can't think of anything else though.
I love that game.
I got to the point, man. I'm just tired of hearing about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like,
You're probably just tired of it.
Why you hating on people's love for this? This is an iconic. I mean, listen, I'm not a Star Wars guy either, like that. I'll be honest, but it is an iconic franchise.
I'm not a diehard fan like either.
Was good. The Battlefront, I didn't think that first one was good, but the second one, since I got a chance to play it, I thought it looked great. I thought it played better. They said they're giving a story to it.
They ran like complete trash on Xbox when I played it.
I played it on PC.
I think it was mainly server issues. I think it was mainly server issues, but man, it was atrocious when I played it.
Word. It's coming out for the X.
Rap said he's sending you a Star Wars loot box to your house.
I mean, if you send me a loot box, I can't. I'll drop the address in the comment section. Like, I will call you out on your bluff, Brad.
But Game Night, aren't you a huge Dragon Ball fan? Though, don't you like Dragon Ball?
Get him.
I mean, I couldn't tell you the last game I bought. Dragon Ball Z Universe. Yeah. That's all.
Oh, okay.
And before that, I've
been hearing that shit for years, but I don't mind because I love it though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I bought Battlefront.
Kofi be slinging. Kofi be low key.
He be low key with it.
Nah, y'all some instigators.
Like, but don't you
Kofi, I love this shit. I swear to God.
You gotta get Kofi back on board and keep getting at it.
Don't mind
no, don't get me wrong. I've watched every Star Wars movie that comes out. It's just I'm getting tired of the Star Wars hype is all. Like,
but that's Star Wars. Like, hey, your opinions notwithstanding, there are a lot of people who really love Star Wars, and that's not going away anytime soon. So I think more than anything else, the scary part about this and the sad part about this is Visceral going away, right?
Yeah.
The fact Visceral.
I think I was more upset with Dead Space than.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Just not IP.
That's what resonated with you. I get you.
Yeah, I get that absolutely because Visceral is one of those studios that through the 360 era, even before the Xbox and the GameCube era, they made those the Lord of the Ring games, the action games that were pretty cool, and they really came into their own with Dead Space. And for me, Dead Space holds a special place for me because when Res Evil went straight up action, Dead Space is what kind of carried that kind of survival horror torch forward. Like, because Res Evil wasn't it. Like 5 and 6, that was not what I was looking for in Res Evil. So I mean, it's sad that they're going. The scary part about it is this: like, you take an Amy Hennig directed third-person, story-driven action game, aka an Uncharted game, directed by Amy Hennig in the Star Wars universe, and you decide after like 3.5, 4 years to take it out back and shoot it in the head.
Oh my god!
That's a big deal.
I think the thing it didn't like I was more frustrated with 1313 because I actually saw something.
Yeah, facts game. And look, like you can't really care too much. You can't compare this to like Scalebound or something where we've seen it in like three conferences in a row. Then the shit's
right.
Like,
but the thing is,
it's kind of
gone though. You know?
It's kind of like Microsoft when they announced that they had remember what was that Halo game that they announced that they
Lego blocks or Lego blocks
that they canceled, and then they
Mega Blocks Halo
like 2 days later started apologizing for canceling. Like, why are you apologizing for canceling a game you never announced?
But this is the thing with this game though. This game was in development long before Amy Hennig came on, so the game was in development.
That's my point.
It was 2 years in, and then Amy Hennig came on. So you have to assume that a lot of that was redone once she came on in terms of story and everything. Right. So now you're looking like from a business standpoint, I see why they did it, because now you're looking at a game that isn't coming out maybe till 2019, and it's a single player game that you're not going to get a lot of replay out of. So, and that's assuming it's a great game. We don't even know
if you put in loot boxes.
That's the thing.
My opinion.
But how do you throw in loot boxes into a single
they did it
game?
What did it?
Loot box in any goddamn thing now.
Yeah, it's true, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. Like try to put it in a loot box in like The Last of Us, right? In The Last of Us story mode. It's not.
They did the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different because this was going to be a straight up just a story based game. I'm sure they could have figured out a way to do it.
Oh, trust me, there's definitely. All they got to do is hit up Warner Brothers. Yo, how do we do this? Because I would never have expected loot boxes at Shadow of War.
Yeah, I think the scariest thing about this is that if there's anybody who has the capital to have a game like this keep going, it's them, Activision. For them to just eliminate it and pivot and be like, no, this is not where we're going because we're not going to make enough money on it. It's scary to think what smaller publishers and developers are going to do.
Yeah. It's funny you said. Let me jump in real quick, so on your point, especially with the obviously with the single player games, obviously there's a lot of talk on the streets that those are dying, and that everything's kind of going as games as a service. So there's a lot of concern there with the community. Right. And the other thing about it, which really personally for me, I felt the way about it, was the Amy Hennig thing. Because she was just like, wasn't she just kicked off of
Naughty Dog or some
Naughty
shit
Dog?
Right.
So then she gets this job with Star Wars, the Star Wars game, and then from my understanding, shout out to Super the Phone podcast guys, because they were kind of getting in depth with this too, was that she was actually hesitant to jump on board with this. You know what I mean?
Am I the only one that feels like maybe it's internal beef? Like, I feel like there's internal struggle or something going on that made that, because like
the whole studio though, everybody,
it just feels weird. Like
we'll never know. We'll never know the real story.
We'll never know. Yeah, we'll never know.
Story.
But back to my point with the Hennig thing was just like, I feel for her, because at the same time, like she left that situation, she came in the situation, she was hesitant about jumping on the situation, and then boom, now they're out and she's out of a job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
get her on the podcast. Crazy. I think she has a story to tell.
I would love to get Amy.
I'm sure they pay Amy plenty not to say anything.
Oh, facts. And not for nothing, shout out to Microsoft. Y'all need to call up Amy. Like, y'all having issues with single player games, or there's
I
this
think
perception?
she's still employed by EA. She's just not working.
She's still employed.
Well, they haven't said what her role is going to be moving forward, if she's going to decide to stay or not.
We'll probably hear something in the future though. We'll probably
All I'm saying is Microsoft need to be jumping on when these studios get broken down with their first party situation being what it is.
They have no interest in that, man. It's clear what Microsoft got their interest in now, man.
But again,
they got it in Kofi. They got it in Kofi.
But like, at this point, like for Microsoft to build up studios, and everyone always says that like the device, but it seems like Microsoft, that's not what they're interested in doing right now. You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
be real here. Microsoft wants to
interested
be
in
Ubisoft right now. They want those games that play for a couple years constantly on the top 10. They want they own For Honor. They want they own Rainbow Six Siege. That's the model they talk about is those games, because Ubisoft is like hitting gold after gold with service-based games.
Yeah, that's what Microsoft's gonna do too.
The thing with Ubisoft though is that they're also taking risks. I mean, they did the Mario Rabbids. They did Mario Rabbids, and that's one thing that's Ubisoft is like valued not even close to what Activision. Exactly. Like, and they're not even valued at half of what Activision is or an EA is, and they're willing to take that risk. And then you have these bigger companies that are like, nah, I'm not willing to take the risk. Like,
just think of that for a second, man. Whoever, like any other kind of, I did see the interview where the XCOM the XCOM director said that because they were talking to him about Mario plus Rabbids, and he was pretty much like, they low-key stole your formula. How you feel about that? He's like, I didn't know that was on the table. If I knew that, I'd been talking to Nintendo years ago. And the funny thing is, like, Ubisoft definitely took a risk. Like, think about the concept behind Mario plus Rabbids. Like, whoever pitched that idea deserves an award. It's like, we're going to put Mario with your Rabbit franchise, and it's like, say what? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it was something that was unheard of at the time, and it took a risk, and it actually paid off. So it is interesting to see the approaches, what I'm saying, with all these companies. It's like Microsoft seems to take a safer approach. But as far as the Visceral thing, it just, like I said, I never want to see studios close. So as much as
I'm not about that.
Yeah, as much people complain about what's going on in the industry. I know there's a lot of talk with microtransactions, loot boxes. I'm not saying that these are the reasons to keep studios alive, but ultimately what I don't like seeing is when we get announcements like the Visceral thing, and it's just like, damn, man, these are the people that made Dead Space.
I don't like when people use, even like, especially in console wars, like people using it as like talking points. It's like, Lionhead Studio shut down, Microsoft's in trouble. I was like, dude, that's a lot of jobs that you try to use for your own your own agenda. It's like, that's
own agenda. Yeah, absolutely. These people got lives, they got jobs. You know what I mean? I mean, even dudes like Cuphead. I mean, even though it was a success, like, wasn't it like they were on the verge themselves just to make that game, almost out of their home, mortgaging houses
out of pocket.
Yeah. So we just got to be careful with the rhetoric of when these things happen, because I mean, as we see the results. So, do we got any more things on this Visceral things? Any more the laws or anything? No, we good.
I think another reason the game could have gone also is that third-person action over the shoulder. They already have that in Battlefront now. They have a single player, which is essentially that. And they would be stepping on each other's toes. And like I said before, there's no guarantee the Amy Hennig game was going to be great. It might have not been up to snuff. So, it could be a number of reasons why they decided to pivot. The fact that they were so forthcoming about everything that they were doing is kind of weird too. Like, nobody ever tells you that much stuff about what happened with the game and why that was really strange. Why they did that, I don't know. Maybe it's because of Luke Cage drama. They wanted to avoid as much of that as possible and like just kind of be forthcoming. But that was strange to me.
Yeah, I think it's like Kofi said. I mean, it's one of those things. Sometimes this is internal. This is stuff we may never know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like a book comes out that Jason Schreier puts out.
Hey, man.
Somebody starts
on the show, get it off your chest.
Yeah, you want him to switch. He's allowed to switch on the round table.
We are here to listen. We will put up our feet and listen to you tell your story. Come here, man. You can come with a pseudonym. You don't have to come with your name. We know who you are.
We're gonna start blacking out.
Are we gonna do like the border in front of their face and you just hear their voice?
Yeah, yo, we can give them the motorized voice. We can give them the motorized voice. I was there. When it was going.
Distort their voice and just. I used to work for Naughty Dog.
There
was things going on that I have to tell about.
And on that note, he gotta move on for the Visceral joint. So actually, this one is kind of break my heart to talk about, Lord. So I'm just going to get into my topic. So it's with great sadness I present my topic to the round table. I fought this feeling for some time, but as Lord Cognito, y'all know I got to keep it true at the round table. Even with something near and dear I hold to my heart.
What happened, Cognito?
I'm going to present my argument for the over-casualization of Destiny 2.
Wasn't it always casual, though? That's what I'm trying to...
Nah. Kofi, no.
Yo, Kofi is low-key. I love it.
He got them swords out, boy.
I never known Destiny to be a hardcore game, though. To be
let's get to it. We're going to get to it right now, baby. Good points. Good points, Kofi. And so Exhibit A, we're going to talk about that Destiny 2 player base. So reports have come out that the Destiny 2 player base has dropped by over 2 million users since launch.
I'm definitely one of them.
Yeah, we see you on Shadow War, so you're one of them. If we compare this to Destiny 1, a month after September, which was 2014, when they had 3.2 million concurrent. Now, bear in mind, that was a brand new franchise. You know what I'm saying? That Activision, they didn't explain it well. Remember, like we didn't really know what Destiny 1 was, right? And then now that people know what Destiny 2 is, and you know, seems to be a more polished and for the most part, you know, reviewed decently game, you know, it's been a steadily drop ever since. You know what I'm saying? The last couple days alone, they lost over 400,000 players. So right now they went from 3.5 to 1.5. Wow. Exhibit A. Exhibit B. Activision. Destiny 2 physical game sales fell more than 50% from the original in its first month. So that's the physical sales declined more than 50% from the September 2014 release of Destiny 1. You know what I'm saying? You got analysts like Pack Attack and these guys out there saying that the sales were underwhelming. Now, the argument could be said that, you know, during that time that the 360 and the PS3 were out, the user base. But since then, you know, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 user base have grown just as much, right? And digital sales, from what people were saying, well, maybe people bought it digital, you know, that kind of thing. You know, analysts are saying, you know, right now it may be like in the mid-20s%, or maybe mid-30s for Destiny 2. So that still doesn't account for the 50% loss. Then we have Exhibit C, Destiny 2 endgame. Now, Kofi, I know you're not a Destiny 2 guy like that.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about, one of the big things in the community was the end game, right? People want to get on them raids. You know what I'm saying? They want to do their trials, the Iron Banner, all this other stuff, which is kind of perceived for, you know, once you finish the base game, this is like the hardcore end game activity is supposed to have replay value. And since Destiny 2 has been launched, there's a big uproar in the community. If you look at Reddit right now, Kofi, Twitter, you know, it is lit. People are going in on Bungie, saying that everything is casualized. Power doesn't even matter. Like when you beat a raid, Kofi, like what would happen is you would get gear that would actually be specific to the raid that help you with the encounter, right? Mm-hmm. So all these things that made it stand out for the hardcore are now all gone. Everyone's kind of even playing level. Power level doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So this is a big thing that
it's
the
just
community
a number now.
Yeah. Like, and then the other point, which we talked about last week on the ILP, was just about, you know, they had all these good systems. They had strike specific loot. They had scoring and strikes. They had all these things that towards the end of the Destiny 1 era and then like post Taken King is what they really started to improve Destiny. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much kind of like what you said on your last podcast, kind of like you were going to get into the Taken King, but then, you know, you were kind of like too far behind, but you did hear that they did a lot of good things, right?
Yeah.
All these good things that they added, Kofi, are not in Destiny. So there's a big uproar in the community.
And you know why they're not in Destiny 2? Because they want to resell it to you in an expansion.
That's what the community is upset about. That's exactly what Lord, because people are saying that these features should have been there on launch, and that come December or come with the next DLC, watch they magically appear.
Yeah.
So yeah, the last point, with this whole casualization thing is, obviously they just had a Twitch comm stream. Bungie was out there. They're talking about season. So this is the hope, right? They're talking about
control.
Yeah, they're talking about they're adding, they're resetting the clan progress to 0. They're adding a couple of more hardcore features. They're doing things with in-game content and rewards to try to fix that. So they do seem that the community is very upset and they want to do something. So I bring this to the Lords, and I'm actually going to start with Kofi first because he's not the Destiny guy, right? And I'm pretty sure you were thinking about PC, but you may not even pick it up.
Yeah, so, I'm thinking I'm skipping, to be honest.
So based on all this information, right, of what you're going, like, tell me why you are not interested right now at this point of even stepping into that Destiny realm.
At first, I was waiting for the PC version because I actually played the beta and I actually liked it. I thought the game played really well on PC and looked really good. But main reason I'm not picking it up on PC, I don't even know about all the shit that you were saying. I'm just finding about it today. Main reason I'm not picking it up because this month is packed, man. This month is crazy. Wolfenstein, Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mario Odyssey. We have South Park.
According to some Lords, those games even this month isn't packed whatsoever.
This month is a little too crazy. First of all, and Destiny, it just seems like one of those games that you gotta sink time in, a lot of time in, right? So I feel like I felt like I was gonna pick it up later, but how you're explaining the game seems like I might wait for the 2.0 Destiny 2 to give it a try. I might not even buy the game at all.
Wait for me to tell you the water's good.
I might not even buy the damn game at all. We'll see what happens now.
I feel you. Now, what I was gonna say, as far as like the I was gonna say to Lord Addict's point, he was talking about like how like all these games being out, right? And like one thing that Destiny's always been strong as far as the player base and maintaining it. So now that Kofi, you made a good point. Now, as far as all these games, on route, these games technically are not here yet, right? Yeah. And the player base is already dwindling. Right?
Yeah, people don't give a shit anymore, probably. People just stop caring.
Exactly. So you would imagine that would happen once the games are already out, right? Like the Assassin's Creeds, all the Marios and stuff like that. You would think, okay, Destiny's gonna lose some player base, all these games, and then you got November, you got, Call of Duty, all this stuff. How concerning is that part to you?
Yeah, when those what's it called? October 27th come around, we'll see if the numbers drop even more. If people are playing other stuff. Yeah, how you're explaining it, it seems like more of the same, but like they took away what the core audience really enjoyed about the first game.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Shout out to Anchorman for plugging Bethesda Fallout 4 player base maintained for at least 5 months. Shout out to you, Anchor, for you had to plug your Bethesda. I feel you. You're savage.
The ultimate crooks.
The ultimate crook. Yeah. But, so bring it to the Lords. Let's go around the table. Let's get Lord Solve. You represent the casual base. You've been playing Destiny hard.
I've been playing hard.
What do you feel? Where do you stand with this?
I think in terms of the content stuff, I think the hardcore has to understand that you guys devour this game. Not play it, you devour this game.
True. Facts.
It's a little unfair to be calling them out for not having sufficient content when you guys the rabid way in which you guys play this game.
I just got to back you up 1 second, Soft. I hate to cut you. Not about the con, just about the casualization. Well, you're totally honest. Destiny players are fiends. We suck this thing up way more than the average gamer. We're crackheads. You are absolutely right. All I'm talking about is as far as the systems that are in place for in-game content, and just also explain about the player base stuff. Like I want to get your feedback on
the player base stuff. To me, I think it's just by the fact that you've opened the game up to more people by casualizing some of the systems. The same casual way they came in to play the game now and didn't play it last time, they're casually moving away and just playing other things. It's just one of those things, like when you have when you add to your base people who are more generally casual about their games, they're not going to stick to it regardless. So you're going to have that a larger portion. You're just naturally going to have a larger portion of people walking away from it until the next big drop comes. It's just the numbers are bigger because the numbers around it are bigger. I don't care what they say about the physical sales. I think the digital sales are strong. I think we're going to see more of that on PC. I think generally there were more people playing the game than were playing the first one at this same point. So I think it's just a matter of the type of people playing the game are more willing to walk away from it. So that's what I think in regards to that. In terms of like the systems, again, I don't have the point of reference because I didn't play the first one as much. Like I said last week and the week before, I think we're just going to see an evolution of the game where little by little they start rewarding more of the hardcore by adding different things. I heard something about Prestige Nightfalls or the Prestige Raid where they started adding like different objectives or something like that. I heard they were talking about this in the TwitchCon presentation where they were just gonna little by little they're adding more reasons for the hardcore to play more and more. And I think that's just gonna be an evolution of the game. They realize that they over casualize it to get more people in the door at the beginning.
By then though, it might be too late.
I don't know. Will it be too late for you? Will you not go back to it? Because I consider you hardcore. So would you not go back to it? Because I think the hardcore will come back to it if they address the issues.
To be honest with you, if they don't address the raids, I don't see me putting too much time into Destiny. You can ask Lord Cognito. I'm a huge raid guy, and if they don't address the raid issues, I see me playing the story for to see what happens and then jumping straight off and not touching it.
Apart from the glitch stuff in the raids, like what is it that's bothering you about the raids?
Get them all, Attic.
Just the trash system that the raid has right now. The fact that they try to casualize it to you because they don't want to. Like Kofi, would you agree? Cutting off loot for in Destiny they have a hard raid and a normal raid and. I think they said only 15% of Destiny, like the entire install base completed a raid.
Right, that was an issue. Yeah.
And they didn't want to. And then when you get to hard raid, it's even worse. It's like 3%. And they didn't.
Zero's in the building. Just would have shot him out.
What up, Zero? You paid that 35 at the door. What's up?
So the issue is they don't want to isolate, this gear that's in these two these two events. They don't want to isolate it from everyone. So I get that. But my thing is look, if you don't want to, grind, figure out how to do the strikes. I mean, do the raids. Go do strikes all day. I don't care. It's just like when it comes to Destiny, they always had that base and then they had the hardcore. And in Destiny 2, the base is the hardcore. And that's the issue. The issue is, if you wanted to just play.
You're missing the point.
There's not a point. Okay, go ahead. We got to see. Go ahead.
I know you chomping at the bit. What's going on?
No, but it's just the point that is, I think it's a change of philosophy at Bungie when it comes to this game. In particular, because it was classism before. Yeah. And now
look at you, you ain't had that Gallahorn on it.
It was elitism, classism. It was like if they looked at your gear when you walked in, they said, "Let me inspect you." Like remember?
Yeah, they did that to me.
Right? Yeah, and I had to tell him, "Yo, chill, that's my cousin." And don't worry about his boots.
You don't understand that. You don't understand that reference. Like in Destiny, if you didn't have there's a gun called the Gallahorn, and for a lot of encounters, it demanded the Gallahorn. So I've legitimately been in parties where someone's like, "Can you help me with the raid?" He's like, "Do you have the Gallahorn?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "You got homework. Come back when you have it."
Exactly. And see, me and Lord Attic, trust me, when we say we do these raids for real. Listen, like I said, I ran people through these prestiges this week, and I'm telling them how to attack a room and how to position. If you ever play with me, I'm going to tell you how to get past things and how to do it correctly. Because we thought it out, and trust me, I did it a million times. But in these raids, we strategize going in. Now, we get the mechanics down on the easy raid, and we wait for the hard raid. But we also get the gear. The gear is supposed to help you make the raid easier.
With the mechanics of the raid.
Right.
That's what's always been in Destiny.
So-
All the raid gears always had those properties or unique properties. And right now, the problem is everything in these raids are cosmetic. There's nothing that gives you an advantage. There's nothing done. Like that's the mission. But okay.
The over casualization of it is meant to bring in these casual players, like Lord Sovereign said. These players don't have the attention span to stay with your game. Once they achieve light level 305 that they could get without even doing a raid, they are no longer inclined to stick around. Shadow of War comes out, hey, I'm over here. Cuphead comes out, hey, I'm over here. Now, the base that's still sitting here kicking, screaming, and fighting, I know this is going to happen. We already paid for the premium edition, so we're going to get all seasons, right? You already waiting for the DLC to drop. So you're stuck here regardless. There's some guys that aren't. They're going to buy each one that comes out. If by the next DLC, they don't fix this mechanic with these raids, because the next raid is going to be there. If the next raid isn't as far as class specific, when they drop items and drop gear, and it doesn't enhance the raid for you, there's no sense in going into the raids tracking down gear and items, because it doesn't help you defeat the raid. So why would you go back into the raid unless it's just going with your friends?
It goes back to the point that you guys had. Yeah, it goes back to the point that you guys have had for a while, saying that why are you taking away things that were standards in the first game? It doesn't make sense that a lot of these things are just gone. And one thing.
Yeah, okay, so I'll finish up. I got you.
One theory I might have is, like, obviously we know that this game is not on last gen. Could it be that by starting it sort of from the ground up, they couldn't implement this stuff from the beginning? They didn't have the time to finish implementing all this stuff. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a technical thing. Or like King said, it's a different philosophy and they're approaching it differently. And then now piecemealing everything back according to how people complain. Like, you complain about something, they're gonna fix it. If you don't complain about it, they'll leave it be.
Well, the player base is dwindling, so they're gonna have to do something. But I want to get I got Lord Zero in the building for this topic. This is our resident Channel 5 clan, Destiny 2 member. You know what I'm saying, in the building, one of the original Iron Lords. So let's give him that proper respect. Lord Zero, I've seen you kind of dissipate into the nether realm. You've been in the dark, not on Destiny much lately. Talk to me. What's your state of things? What do you feel about this? My term, the casualization of Destiny 2. Talk about it.
Yeah, here's the damage intro.
Zero, you there, baby?
Nigga said my mic sounds
your mic sound nice. It don't sound like we got to get your mic together. We'll get back to it. We'll get at it though.
Here's the thing, like,
oh, there you go. There you go. I can hear you now. Yeah, got it.
Cool. Yeah. There's a lot wrong. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know that I will always hold Bungie's feet to the fire because they need to improve. Let's start with the facts. That's as much as the first one. Arguing this, that's fact, right? 6 weeks later, shout out to Lord Rand. He put out a video, I want to say today or yesterday. The player base is falling off.
Yo, you buy it still, Joe. You still buying. Wherever you at, you still buying crazy. Yeah, you might have to find a better spot. Just if you find a better spot, just let me know. Come back. Yeah, you're buying crazy.
Yeah, I don't even think he can hear you saying he's bought.
I don't think he can hear me. Yeah,
he was like, listen, I'm here for the
little addict jump in.
When it comes to this, there's been, it's classic example of a company that's trying to bring in a new player base and not really paying attention to, its core. And then at the end of the day, what is okay? Like, I get the initial, they want to get out the gate as quick as possible. But the problem with that is, if you look at it a year, 2 years down the line, if you piss off your core enough, they're not coming back. And these are going to be the people. The core are going to be the people. The hardcore are going to be the people that keep your game alive through the next couple of years. Like,
Right.
you know,
During the
I don't know
break
how
times, too.
Sovereign's going to be, but, you know, people like me, people like, you know, everyone in this podcast but Kofi and Sovereign, they're the ones that's going to be buying the expansions. They're the ones that's going to be playing the expansions. And, you know, even if Lord Kofi got Destiny 2 on PC, there's a good chance because he plays so many games. He's like one of the only people I know that's beat Noah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
You know, I'll
he's
probably just play
def-
that story and just move on.
I
to the
mean,
end.
I'll be
yeah,
perfectly-
so he
I'm
would
actually
be gone.
For
Good
me, I'm
job.
actually in. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. So I'm gonna play all the expansions and stuff like that. Again, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be hardcore like you guys that are, you know, going in prestige raids and like you know them like the back of your hands. Like that can't be me. Like because of my
I
skills, I
got
just
you.
can't.
I
You know,
got
but
you.
it'll just never be me because I know like once you know next year Red Dead comes out, like everything else falls to the wayside. When certain things come out, everything's gonna fall to the wayside.
Lord
But, I mean-
Sovereign, you did a nightfall, bro. You've come such a long way. Listen, man,
I'm
like
in.
I
Like I said, I'm
trust
in.
me. When I saw you doing it, I said I got him.
Hey guys, am I still button stuff?
Oh, you back, baby.
better,
Your levels
better.
is good. There we go. Get your
Alright,
point
cool,
off. Get your point off. I know you want
How much made it through? Because I kind of
Nothing.
went on a tirade.
Nothing.
Okay.
Not
Fair
a
enough.
damn thing.
you were all day.
Okay. So what I was saying is Destiny 2 hasn't sold as much as the first one. This is a fact. This is no arguing that, right?
Right.
Lord Rand put a video out. The player base has dropped off 78%.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Facts.
That is bad. And this is 6 weeks out before any big games come out, right?
Thank you. That's my point.
This is a time where it shouldn't be dropping at all.
It's supposed to reign supreme in
Yes,
October
right.
until November. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the most striking and shocking thing about this to me is, even though I didn't like to admit it back in the old ILP days, when Destiny had issues with player base, the fans that would come back and keep concurrent, you know, playing was the PvP fan base, right?
Yes.
They're the lowest number right now.
That's
PvE is by far higher than them. And this is factual. This is backed up by Destiny Tracker and other sources. This is true.
It's that 4v4.
So,
people don't like it.
Right. Yeah. People do not like Crucible. People do not like the new 4v4 VMAT versus instead of the 6v6. People don't like the way their Trials and Iron Banner are run now.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
There's a lot of issues. The token thing, let's be honest, I know Lord Kabatsu's not going to like it, but the token thing is stupid.
Why
Because
is it
before you
always
had-
when it comes to anything related to this, Lord Kabatsu's on the other end? Like,
because Lord Kaibatsu got his casual flag heavy. Like he
Yeah.
rep that casual flag. So I understand where he coming from on some levels.
Which I respect. I respect him greatly. And the thing is, my issue with this Destiny 2 thing, and me and Kabatsu, we've been back and forth on this plenty of times through Twitter, Messenger, all kinds of stuff. And my thing is, I respect where he's coming from, and I don't want Destiny to do anything that takes away from him or Lord's House fun in any kind of way. What I expected from Destiny, and I feel like it was fair, was for them to include those things into the base Destiny 2 that they had at in-game Destiny 1. And I know Saad said something about technical issues, but Destiny 1's excuse was that it was holding them back.
Right.
So they couldn't do as much as they want to. But now that we have these new systems, they're not doing as much as they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those two arguments counteract one another. And this is simple things. Like if you go in and you compare the vault space now to the in-game vault space in Destiny 1, we actually don't have as much vault space.
Yeah.
Things are organized as well. Go ahead.
No, that's a good point. And yeah, no, I just want to get, because I know I won't put Kofi to sleep with all this Destiny talk. But Kofi's like, God damn, they go hard on this Destiny. But the thing is, like, that, what it is, Kofi, is just that we, as the hardcore Blaze, like, obviously we represent the hardcore, right? We play this game a lot. And one of the things is just to see the regression of features, like what Lord Zero saying, is one of the things that a lot of the player base is calling out Bungie and thinking it may be a finesse because there's no real reason for these features that existed to actually no longer be in the newer iteration of the game. You feel what I'm saying, Kofi?
Yeah, I didn't move on.
Right. So it's like, it's like when sports games come out, like they'll add new features and stuff. And then generally those features get added, like say, new Madden or whatever. The next iteration will have those features for the most part.
That's
so
not the only game that has done this right now. This recent.
Absolutely. Oh shit, we got Lord Kaibatsu in the building to rebut Lord Zero. Here we go. Make it quick.
Get in on this.
Hey, let me say something real quick. Kofi, if you want to take off, I completely understand. I have no clue how long this podcast is going to be.
Lord Kai, keep it quick. We got football on deck, so we can't go too hard.
Like 15 minutes of football.
The only thing I'm gonna say is that I do agree with you guys in terms that they need to do more with the end game.
But there's a but.
My big complaint is that with the token system, everything that's currently done right now, you can have all that other stuff. The one thing, and I was asking for, and they're actually doing with the Iron Banner now that you're gonna be able to buy your gear using the tokens.
Oh, right.
While you buy your gear using the tokens and the legendary shards, while also being able to do the role if you want.
What you're referencing is the latest Bungie TwitchCom stream where they talked about the changes that they're going to make coming, and they're going to do the seasons thing. So your thing now, you're talking about the hope of what they're listening to the community and trying to implement those things and make changes this early in the game. Is that what you're referencing?
Yes. My main thing is I agree with you guys in terms that they need to do more with endgame. But the thing is, the current token system, it allows them the levity to do to the way that they could do both. I like the token system mainly so you don't have to go to the tower. You can go play 2 to 3 hours, get all those rewards, and then go in and cash them. There's less downtime when you're going back and forth, because that was my issue with Destiny 1. Destiny 1, you had engrams inside the inventory, which ate up at your inventory, so you would have to go to the tower, and
unnecessary grind of back and forth.
Diablo, a perfect balance for that, for those type of games, is that you play 45 minutes to an hour, and then you go back and cash in your stuff at the town. And then there needs to be a good balance with that, so that way you have that urge to go on and on. If you're going back to the tower, and plus you have to go through those load times, which also I appreciate that they alleviated the load times with the whole destination setup.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate your feedback there.
I agree with what you guys are saying, although I do feel it's a bit early, and I do think everyone is going to hop back on.
Here's my point to you, Lord Kaibatsu, and again, I don't want to extend it too long.
Yeah,
I feel where you're going. I hear where you're going as a casual. The only thing we have to now acknowledge now is with these systems that, a lot of the casuals do like, the casuals have finished the game, they've moved on, and also this player base is now dropping. See that now, that's a direct reflection of the community. For whatever reason, they're done with the game. They're not playing, and people are falling off like wildfire. So that's where we now have to take it serious, where maybe some of these systems that they casualize now are coming back to bite them, because those things kept people hooked. That chase for the loot, that chase for the grind, that chase for that prestigious
But here's the question
stuff.
I pose to you. This is the one
now people are leaving. We cannot discount that.
Like this room,
did
they leave?
I could ask you everything that you wanted. Could it be put on the current system?
Let's
say that again.
Let's be real here. This Google
everything that
Hangout.
you wanted, couldn't it be put on the current system as is?
The question is, why isn't it? Why wasn't it?
Let me say this real quick.
I agree with that.
Let me say
they're holding out on features.
No doubt.
I do agree with.
I agree. Attic, finish it off.
Okay. I just want to finish this whole statement with this. Everyone in this podcast isn't playing Destiny right now. There's a problem.
Facts.
I'm playing.
That's true.
You know what it's like? It's like this, right? It's you seen that Gran Turismo sport that they just put out right now? And I think they put that sport in the end to tell you're not getting everything, bro. Because it's like Gran Turismo Light. It's sporty, because it is so
car packs and shit. For sure.
You see it, right? Like, I'm like, what's going on lately? Like, I thought that the game was coming, and it was gonna come like the last Gran Turismo with all
the
stuff.
features.
And,
it's like Kai said, like man, hustle. We'll mail you the stuff you already had, and then new DLC come December.
And you know what they said? They said, "Hey,
it was like guy. Drive Club was. We'll give you weather updates.
Yeah, we give you rain later. like we give you time of day later.
Question. So is there anything that's missing from the game now?
Oh yes.
No, I'm just saying. Is there anything that's missing from the game now that you think? No. I'm saying, but just a general question. Is there anything that's missing now that you guys think could be monetized? Because we talked about this when the game first came out, and the whole bright engram thing and the shader thing. And I said it. I said they're gonna try to find a way to monetize every little thing.
I think it already is, with the fact that there's a $15 DLC in December.
There you go.
I wouldn't be surprised that all that stuff that we're complaining and bitching about now, it's gonna come back. The Curse of Osiris DLC.
As a drip. We're too smart to at that point. So right now, that's why people are complaining right now. They can't do a drip feed of the old features and like, Destiny is new again. You can't.
Yeah, because you remember, man. Yeah. I mean, we're going back into this loot crate talk, but the fact of the matter is that Destiny is a $60 game with like a season pass type thing. Beyond that, and beyond what they tried to do with the bright engrams and the silver and stuff like that, there is no further monetization. And
no doubt.
They're gonna try to find a way.
Fall asleep playing the game.
Yo, 5 minutes, y'all. We gotta wrap. Well, I was gonna say, football's on deck. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, Lord Tommy, I apologize. I was gonna get into your Activision thing. We're gonna hit that next week. We already know what we feel about that with the multiplayer, finesse, matchmaking. We're gonna hit that back for you next week, no doubt. But we gotta wrap up.
Can of worms.
Yeah, because we'll go into that. It'll be all night. And we got Kofi here suffering with Destiny talk. So we gonna end this thing up real soon. But yo, first of all, shout out to Lord Kofi for coming through, man. Absolutely a pleasure, man. Like, huge fan of you, you know what I'm saying? And it's great to have you at the round table. Hopefully you come back. So definitely want to shout you out. And you want to tell the fine people where they can find you in that Press Start podcast?
Yeah, it was a pleasure. You can find me at Press Start Kofi. That's my channel name, and I have a weekly podcast called Press Start Podcast. I'll try and have some of y'all hit me up on Twitter. I'll try to have some of y'all on, man. I'm always looking for new guests. If you haven't been on, hit me up.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And Kofi,
if you want to feel a little awkward sometimes, Alex got you there, man. Go watch that. Alex got you.
No, shout out to Alex, shout out to all of them. Real quick, Kofi, before we go, I wanted to drop that last ILP poll question right now, because it was actually inspired by you in the podcast, Fresh Start Podcast. Here we go. All right, here's the new ILP poll. If serious, now when I say serious, ethical or sexual allegations are discovered against a publisher or developer of your favorite video game franchise, will this honestly stop you from purchasing and supporting the product? The answer, the poll will go up. The answer will be A, yes, I can't support it, and neither should you. Or B,
look,
no, this will not stop me from buying a game that I love.
Let me keep it simple. Look, don't look to me to be your role model. Look to me to be that guy who tells you if the game is good or not. Don't look at me to be your role model. Look at me to be the guy to give you information about the game. Because
we're gonna put it up. Get at it.
Yeah, let's be honest. If a game drops and like Red Dead, and a dev, sexually assaulted a person, which is absolutely horrible.
Right.
I ain't gonna punish myself and not play the game, because I really doubt that like the whole freaking team.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold the whole team.
Shout out on one person's actions.
Shout out to Weapon Wheel. They were giving scenarios like the lead of Naughty Dog came out was racist, saying saying people need to do this, people need to do that. Everyone on that podcast was like, I'd still buy the game.
You know what? And I appreciate that, because they're being 100% honest. At least
I'm shallow.
Like I said, don't look at me to be the role model.
Be your role model. That's gonna be your model. You ain't nobody's role model.
Charles Barkley this. That's right.
Barkley this situation. So that's the question. Those are the choices. Please rock that vote. I'm gonna put that up on the ILP Twitter polls hard. Please hit it really hard when you go up. We're gonna get these outros popping so we get out of here. We got football on deck. Lord Addict. Where can the find you?
You can find me playing Shadow of War. Find me on Twitter. Addict ILP. You can find me on YouTube, Gaming Addict, and Xbox and PlayStation Room to Kill whenever I am on PlayStation, and Steam Gaming app.
No doubt. Lord Sovereign. Where can people find you?
First of all, shout out to Kofi. Thank you for coming through, man.
Word.
We appreciate it. Lord, people can find me on PSN and Xbox Live at BX Sovereign and Lord Sava ILP on Twitter. Look out for some Mario Odyssey impressions, I guess, from all of us next week. So we're going to be in there.
No doubt. Lord King, where can the people find you?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, PSN. Yeah, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer. If y'all didn't check out the video podcast that we did on Monday, right after me and him played, it was fantastic. I've learned is a Buddhist way. I went in with bad intentions. He went in with enlightenment, and enlightenment won. I got smoked like a cigarette. And I'm here to say, listen, I know Anchor, your heart is broken, baby. Hey man, it's another day, baby. If I could get up and walk around, you could too. Listen, he
especially
showed,
if Lord King can come back from something like that, anyone can.
listen, he showed honestly, and grace and winning. And also he wanted to show his to keep the viewership up. Like, we lost 9 people, and I hope it wasn't with the talk that we took Destiny down with, but in keeping his viewership up, he learned a lesson, and he had to do it a certain way. So I'm glad he got on to talk about why he did what he did and how he did. Maybe we don't agree with it, but he came through to give his side, and I love the fact that he was a man in doing that. So shout out to Kofi, my man. Yo, like, I really mess with your podcast. So the fact that messing with your podcast, because Lord Cognito put me onto all these podcasts out in these streets, you up there with my man Brat that's up in here, and I really like your stuff, and I really appreciate the fact that you came through, bro.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. Shout out to Press Start. Yeah, man. I also want to shout out the 2 lords that came in. You know what I'm saying? One of the OG lords, obviously, Lord Zero. Shout out. Where can people find you?
You can find me anywhere on Xbox, Facebook, Messenger, wherever on Lord Zero ILPs. Same everywhere.
Talking that passionate Destiny talk. We love you. That's what we talking about.
Always hold the feet to the fire when it needs it.
I feel you, bro. Appreciate the honesty. And of course, Lord Kaibatsu, the man willing to debate at any time of day. Stop what he's doing and jump in your chat to debate you.
Anyway, I want to give a shout out to Kofi. Definitely like the young OG, the Genesis love. I always got to respect that. Anyway, the people can find me on Twitter at Lord Kaibatsu, and also on Xbox Live, Lord Kaibatsu as well. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Absolutely. No doubt. Absolutely. It's Lord Cognito here. Like I said, we spreading that gaming realness on the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Once again, shout out to Press Star, Kofi, and the whole team for coming through. Please hit that like, subscribe to all you guys on the Inner Circle Network media outlets, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and of course, that amazing TickGN Patreon. We got our multi-first brothers up next, you know what I'm saying, on Monday with Anchorman, Undead, Mike the True, Fame, all them guys. Please listen to them. And we had, if you just missed it, podcast Super Pod Shots was up there. The Tick Podcast, was up there. I believe they had Rand on last night. They were talking some really good topics. Neo Gaff burning down. So if you want that good stuff, make sure you tune into that episode. That's crazy. Tick, we out here. We trying to do stuff and make good contact. So on that note, we are out of here. Peace.